I'm with Ken from Bluewater Boats, and if you want to see how this boat is made, watch the rest of this video.
You run a little faster.
A little faster. I'm almost scared to. This is nuts. All right, what's up, everybody? We're here with Ken at Bluewater Boats. He's going to show us how boats are made. So, Ken, you're up here in Fort Pierce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have 2 warehouses?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
We've got an assembly shop and a lamination shop.
Cool.
We've been in business since 1997. We've been in this location for 25 years. So
Wow.
Everything's hand-built right here in Fort Pierce. Basically anything other than the electronics and the motors, we're doing it all here, all by hand. So it starts with an empty mold and a barrel of resin and fiberglass.
So we're starting with the actual hull, right?
Yeah.
So you have a few different models. You make a 21, 23, 25, 28, and a 35, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So this is a mold that's already been glassed in. Well, you started with the
gel coat goes in first. That's what gives it the color. They're kind of like an eggshell. It's about 18 to 24 mils. Try to keep it around 24 mils thick. So we're testing that as we spray it. Right now we're doing the build. So I think we have an overbuilt boat comparatively to other boats. We don't use a chop gun even for the skin coat.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that. They hand lay everything, right?
Yeah. So the chop gun, you have to have a really good operator, and even with a good operator, it's going to be inconsistent. It also makes a mess, and it's just not going to create as good of a product. So we use 1.5 ounce mat, 2 layers of that for our skin coat. That's going to protect the gel coat from the resin, which the resin gives off heat. And if it gets too hot or there's not a thick enough protection on the gel coat, it's going to print through.
Oh, it'll print through.
And our cosmetics and our finish on our boat's really important to us. So we always kind of a little overkill doing 2 layers of a skin coat, but we found we get a better product with that way.
Now, what are you using to actually laminate here? So is this 1808?
This is 4108.
4108.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot thicker, right?
Yes, this is about our 5th build on the boat. You can see on the top we're on the 5th build, and then we have our core. So that'll get one more 4108 to cover it, and then the boat will be fully built out.
Now I notice you have a coring material here up on the side. What's that do besides structural and stuff? Like, does that help with like the ride? Does it help with?
So it adds bulk. Imagine laying that much more fiberglass. So it's going to kind of fill out the boat, make it that much thicker, and add some rigidity to it over than just plain glass. And we run that on all our boats, all across the hulls. I don't know if you can kind of see the strakes.
Yep, I can see.
So we fill those with a putty. So that adds a little more strength, and it also helps prevent air bubbles because it's hard to roll out that tight of a spot.
Nice.
And then one thing that we do that a lot of other manufacturers don't do is that's the bilge area right there, and that's kind of a mold within a mold. So when we pop that out of the hull, it's going to have a compartment or a recess, and we have those to fit the transducer shape.
Oh, nice.
So the transducer is going to have a pocket. It's going to go, and all we have to do is drill a 1-inch hole for the stem.
Perfect, yeah.
And then those are the high-speed pickups that are also built into the hull.
Huh.
And that will deflect water up through the through hull, so that even if you're running full speed, it's gonna pick up water for your bait wells.
That's amazing, man. That's did you guys add this onto the hull, or is that always something that's something you guys have always had?
It's something we've always had. We're trying to do the transducer custom to whatever transducer the customer gets. So it's a mold that we put on our mold that is the reverse of a mold because it sticks out. But basically, it's just going to be a cleaner look in the bilge, and we know that like an educated buyer is going to look in the bilge and be really impressed by a clean bilge, and this is something to make it that much.
Yeah, the bilge is one of the most telling parts of a boat. Yeah. When you guys are looking for to buy a boat, the bilge is very telling. With the wiring, the plumbing, and all that stuff. So, how long does this process take from start to finish, as far as when you start gel coating and the boat is from where the hull is ready to come out of the lamination? How long is that process?
So we're trying to get basically a boat built a week in the glass shop, which is every part for the boat. So it's a full week, and we jump from part to part. So about a week to get kind of all this done. So that's the hull is obviously the biggest build. Once they're done with all of the fiberglass, then we use a Kusa stringer grid. We get that CNC cut, and it goes together kind of as in a grid pattern. That gets dropped into the hull while it's still in the mold, and we overlap that 4 times, tab it into the sides. Nice. So a lot of, I think on your boat actually, you used a foam material for your grid.
Yeah.
So It's a cheaper way to do it. On your boat, I'm sure it's fine. But what we like about Coosa, it's a little bit more expensive and it takes more time to do. But there's actually structure to it. I mean, everyone can debate this, but when you use a foam stringer, that foam is really it's a mold that you're just leaving the boat, and all you're getting is the strength is from the fiberglass you wrap over it.
Yeah. And every boat has its application.
Yeah.
You guys are a hardcore fishing boat.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that when you go out into
so when
the
we
ocean.
I think with the Coosa stringers, and then we hand pour a 2-part foam into every open compartment.
Yeah.
So that we think our boat's rigid. It's not gonna flex. So when you're pounding the boat, it's just gonna feel like a rock going through the waves. It's not gonna give or flex at all.
So once all this is done, how long does it sit before you pop it out the mold?
It depends. We try and let it sit as long as possible, and the stringers are going to be in before it gets popped, and then basically.
Oh, so the stringers actually go in before you even pull the whole thing out of the mold.
The stringers go in the glass shop. Yeah.
Huh,
so we assemble the stringers as a kit, and it drops in. We make sure everything's at the right height and everything fits perfect. Glass over it, and then once the stringers are in, it'll be ready to get popped out of the.
And this is a 25?
This is a 25.
This is a 25. Okay. Cool. Can we see that stringer system, or
we may have one? I don't think we have one built yet. I can show you the box that comes in.
Cool.
Actually, over here is a stringer grid. So that's a 25T liner. This one's built. The inside, the gel coat. This is the reverse of what you're looking at.
Yeah, because your boats are 3-piece construction. And for those that don't know, you want to explain how a 3-piece construction works.
Yeah.
And why it's so much better than a regular 2-piece.
Yeah. So but both are good and both have pros and cons. With the 3-piece, you have the hull. Then you have the liner, which is this part right here.
Yeah, that's the one that sits inside.
Yeah.
Right?
So the gap between this and the hull is going to be really small, and we'll put a bonding putty between that and the hull. And there's no air gap. So, and then over that cap that we looked at outside, the first mold we saw, that'll go on after that.
Yeah, so the cap goes on, yeah.
So I'll show you that in the other shop, and it'll be reversed, so a little easier for everyone to understand.
And then you said these are
this is kind of how our stringers cut. We get those all CNC cut. It's Coosa.
So it looks like a puzzle.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So it's Coosa. We have it cut. We have it on a computer. If we ever need to modify something or change it, we work with a small shop to have these cut for us. So he can go in and make small tweaks to it. Not that it happens very often at this point, but it is a new model for us. So at the beginning, we were kind of tweaking it. Nice. And it allows us to be really, really nimble and make changes quick on the fly.
Yeah, and everything is labeled here too, so it has a specific part, right?
Exactly.
Where it goes to.
And even though we do everything by hand, we kind of try and take advantage of having really good vendors and things we can do on a CAD program or things we can have cut on a CNC machine whenever we can.
Yeah, Ken. So this is what sits. This is the liner, right?
Yeah, so that's that part that we were looking at that was upside down.
Cool. You said you use a bonding putty.
Yeah. So all of these sides are bonded, and then everything's bonded to the hull with the stringers. So anywhere there's something to bond to, we're bonding to it.
Yeah. There's no voids.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture of kind of what it looks like right before we bond it with all the mud laid out.
I noticed too that. Are you guys running the wiring before this is put in?
Exactly. So we've got a rig tube from the back, runs up here, and kind of right before we'll drop it down, we'll pull the wires up. So we make our own harness, and basically once we get that console, which is also pre-wired, we're going to just drop that on. When I was saying about that plexus, that'll kind of go all the way along here and on the floor, and that will hold the whole thing down.
That's amazing that stuff is so strong.
Yeah, it's the strongest stuff in the world. I mean, historically, you could kind of screw down or, through bolt a console and a leg set down, and this is going to be stronger than that.
That's crazy.
A little more complicated, and you have to have the engineering perfect so that everything fits right, but you're just going to make a better product.
What's this blue stuff?
So this is what we put down to protect the non-skid in the boat while working on it. So it peels up when we're done with the boat, and then when see. So,
I see that over there. Yeah.
So if you peel it up, it's going to look like a brand new boat underneath it.
I see.
A little extra step we take to
ensure the quality.
Someone steps on a screw or drops a hammer or a tool, we're not going to have to fix that.
Yeah.
And the stage we're at right now, we are doing finish work. So anything that's not 100% perfect, we're basically hand sanding and hand buffing it out. So working with fiberglass.
That's what he's doing over there, right?
So working with fiberglass. You can get everything perfect.
Oh, you can.
And we want everything to leave here looking exactly perfect. giant fish box.
How big is a fish box for? This is the 25, right?
This is 25T. I don't know the gallons off the top of my head, but
Well, as far as like height, because that's like 7 feet, man. It's huge.
yeah. And just kind of, we were talking about how we bond everything. So any open cavity gets filled with foam, and then anywhere we can bond, we're bonding. So like it's about as solid as it could be.
Yeah.
You can imagine that in the water, which
Yeah.
is a little bit softer than me, although that kind of hurt my heels. So yeah, we're gonna put 2 8/8 here. He's gonna get a sub in the middle, which we'll kind of put in at the end. This one's gonna get a head, so we have a hatch for the Y valve. And then right next to us, right there, we're fitting the liner to the hull. So just making sure everything fits. Still a lot of work to do inside the hull and still some work on the liner, but we're just making sure it kind of fits as it's supposed to.
No.
And what's nice about our shop, we've got 2 cranes in this shop and 1 in the other, so we can move parts the whole way across the
That's
shop.
so convenient.
Yeah, it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. So we did the liner. Now the last part is the cap, right? This is
Yeah. So this is the last step. This will go down around the boat, and after that, we're almost there. Then all we have to do is put the console on, and then we push it up front. So we don't really consider the way we build boats an assembly line. We like to have one person stay on the boat and basically wire the whole boat. Most of the people that work here can probably do every single job, could probably build a boat by themselves.
Wow.
Which is nice. So we like to have kind of one person stay on the boat, get everything tied up nice. Like you could kind of see a little dusty from everything going on, but you can kind of see the quality of our rigging back here in the bilge.
Nice. What transom are you guys using? Crucible board?
Yeah, so it's you can see right there where we cut out in the door. So it's
And how thick is that?
I think 1.5 inches.
Inch and a half.
Yeah.
And then you're using the Armstrong bracket to hang the motors on.
So we've been
right?
using Armstrong brackets since basically day one, and they're great partners. They build a really good product, and they're right in Stewart, which is nice as well. So
Yeah, I might be paying them a visit.
Oh, really?
See if I can. I didn't know I was going to come today
Yeah.
last minute, but I'm going to see if I could be paying them
Well,
a
let
visit.
me know, and I'll put in a call for you.
For sure, thank you.
So basically, once we get all this done up here, then the boat goes up front, and like I said, it's not an assembly line, so we say back line, front line. We just had 2 boats leave last week, so our front line's a little empty. So what we do in the front line is basically all the finishing touches. So the rub rail goes on. So we got the rub rail on here. We don't have the insert on it yet. Get all the upholstery on.
All the hardware.
All the hatches go down, leaning posts. Right now Mariah's caulking the boat. One of the best caulkers in the business, in my opinion. And
I hate caulking, so I don't envy your job.
it's one of the things that people notice, and I know in your
100%.
videos you notice it. So
100%.
look how good of a job she just did.
So yeah, that's all caulked, right?
Yeah, that's all caulk, all of these edges here. So
Amazing.
we take a lot of pride in it, and you can tell that everyone here does as well. So
I have to talk to her about the tricks. What are the tricks?
So you can kind of see that bar over there.
Yep.
Now that's all connected. Kind of have the amp in here, battery panel, the bottom door's on. This one's probably should finish this one in a few days. It's almost there.
Wow.
Then we do our wash it, do our QC process, and I think I'll show you what we do for QC. And yeah, detail it, wax it, and it's ready to go. This is first time we did this gray powder coating, which I think came out really nice. And they're going to do
really cool.
a gray rub rail. My wife Kelly kind of comes up with the colors and does all the upholstery.
That's a really cool upholstery. I've never seen
yeah.
anything like that before.
So this is all sunbrella material.
Yep.
So all of our, we're strictly sunbrella now. We found it has the kind of the best warranty, lasts the longest. So we think that's the best marine vinyl.
Nice. It almost looks like cloth over here. That's a cool touch.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it'll end up coming out nice once this boat's done. And like we're real particular about that. All of the upholstery is customizable. So if you don't want those strips, you can pick your own diamond stitch pattern, pick all your colors, pick the Bluewater logo color.
Now, you guys don't do the upholstery here? You guys?
No, yes,
outsource
we
it?
get that from PPI.
Okay. And
We
the T-tops also?
T-tops come from Wallaby, so we don't weld or sew.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, we have really great vendors, and we try and only work with who we think's the best, and who if we ever need help with something, that they'll come out and help us. And that's basically what we have with everyone we work with now. So
Ken, what makes your boat ride so well? Besides, how it's built.
Yeah.
You guys have a 24-degree dead rise, is that right?
Yeah, so we have a 24-degree dead rise, and this boat still needs to get buffed out, but what I think is, it's not a straight line here, there's a curve to it. If you look at a lot of 24-degree dead rise boats, it's flat all the whole way back. So when you're on something, you're gonna be on one side of the boat or the other. With a curve, it's gonna kind of push the water away more evenly, and the boat's gonna stick to the water better. And then going back to the boat, we have a 24-degree dead rise. We have a small hook in the mold that...
yeah, I noticed that, I see that.
So this is something Paul kind of came up with, and you can see this isn't a straight line, it has a little hook, and that's gonna help keep the bow down and help the boat run a little better. And we also don't make a light boat, so it's not something we're overly concerned with. It's kind of cutting the weight on our boat. Everyone kind of talks about that like it's a good thing, but in our view, you have, you know, a butter knife or like a chef's knife. Which one's going to be better for cutting through things? Yeah. So heavy, sharp angle, and actually adding the Seakeeper ride.
I think you were telling me these. They come standard, right?
Yeah, so the Seakeeper ride's standard now, and what that does is it really takes advantage of our 24-degree dead rise, because you get all the advantages of it. Yeah. And that's going to help keep the boat stable and make a 24-degree dead rise boat is maybe a little bit harder to run than a flatter boat, because you're going to have to work the tabs a little more. So what that does is you get all the benefits of our deep dead rise, and you don't have all the work associated with running it.
I was talking to a gentleman at another boat manufacturer, and he was telling me that the Seakeeper trim tab system, when you put that thing on, it's almost better than a person.
Oh, it's 100
trimming.
I mean, it moves 100 times a second. How fast can you move your fingers?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. So it's even better.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your boat set perfect, and then speed conditions are going to change. Someone's going to move on the boat. The wind's going to change.
Yeah. A wake. Yeah. From another boat. I see.
So it really makes a 24-degree dead rise boat. I don't want to say like a catamaran, but we'll go take my boat out and we'll see how it rides.
Sweet.
You get the best of both worlds with it. This is our hard top. It's a 2-part mold.
And this is all smaller parts.
Yeah, all small parts over here. Yeah. So a 2-part mold. Everything on a kind of, think of like a red Solo cup. When you make a mold, it has to have that shape where it can come out of the mold.
Come out, right.
So anything that has a curve on it, it's going to be a split mold, which this is. So we gel coat both sides, build out both sides, then we put them on and we bond them together. And you're going to have a line basically where the 2 parts come together, and that all needs to get hand finished. So anytime you see any boat, not just our boat, I think there's a good example here, like our leaning post has a nice toe kick that's really nice and rounded. Yep. Anytime you see a boat like that, you know that they put a little more time into it, because it didn't just pop out of the mold and go onto the boat, it popped out of the mold, had to go to finishing to get that line all hand done. Yeah.
Cool. So this is the hard top for the 25?
Yep. So that's the top of it, and this is the bottom with the E-box.
Cool, man.
Just keeping it protected till we're on to the next one. So this is a good example kind of that hard top mold we looked at and what it takes to kind of get this edge. So we've got a surfboard finish on it, and after it comes out of the mold, I don't think I have one fresh out, but this is about a day and a half into getting this edge to look good. So it takes us not quite a week, maybe 3 or 4 days to get that edge, and it's a really nice finish. A lot of boats, they'll just kind of put side A and side B together like that and just cut it and just paint it with gel coat. But to actually get this finish and this edge is something that you don't see in a lot of boats.
Yeah, and this is that, what's this called, the purple stuff?
Yeah, this kind of lets the finishers know that where they've got.
Stuff, right?
Exactly, so it kind of gives them a visual reference on where they've gone and where they've not.
Yeah,
so when this is done, it's going to look like basically like a surfboard side and look really nice. Actually, here's a finished hardtop. So a little dusty, but you can kind of see the quality of that edge.
It looks like one piece. It's perfect.
Yeah. So that alone takes as long as some people build a whole boat.
Yeah, and then people wonder why hardtops are so expensive.
Yeah, so we do all of our electronics and rigging here. So this is our 25T. We try and pre-wire as much as we can off the boat. Makes life a lot easier. Actually, we label everything, which is what he's doing now, is making labels. So everything gets wired as much as we can here. We try and keep everything as neat as possible, and we have general layouts for how these are going to be wired, but because we're doing everything custom and we're allowing customers to pick any electronics, we kind of reference old similar bills, and then we'll sit down and kind of figure out what will give you the best access later. So we kind of have to always think about that, and it's pretty much different every boat. After we have this pre-wired, we have a two-part mold here for the console. So the inside of the console is going to be finished and look basically as nice as the outside of the boat. We're going to have access hatches here to get to everything, and everything's going to be labeled and have nice easy access to it later. This is actually going to be a really nice boat. This one's got Optimus electric steering. He's got 16-inch screens. He's got 2 transducers, the new Garmin Pantopix transducers that actually does like a 3D model of the bottom.
Wow.
This is one of the nicest 25 we built.
Yeah.
We get this panel, it's anti-scratch, anti-glare. We get that CNC cut so that no matter what electronics they want to go with, they're going to get the same finished look.
That's beautiful.
And then,
Now, how are you guys bolting this to the boat?
no, so this is one interesting part about this build. We don't use any mechanical fasteners on the console. We use all plexus, which is a methyl methacrylate adhesive. It's basically the strongest glue ever made. And it's not a glue, it chemically bonds 2 parts together.
Wow.
So it basically makes 2 parts one. So when we go on the boat, you can go and you can do some pull-ups on it, and just see like it doesn't move an inch. When you hit a wave, the boats don't really slam that much, but if you hit a wave hard, you're not going to hear anything rattle. There's nothing to come loose. It makes everything one solid part.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen the methacrylate when I go to FGCI.
Yeah.
They sell them in these little bottles.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Very expensive.
So we get it in. We get them in the canisters, the small canisters, which we'll use for like where the P clips the tie clips go.
Yep.
We'll use a dab of plexus to hold those the clip down for it.
Yeah.
I think it's called a tie mount.
Now I remember at the boat show when I met you.
Yeah.
You told me you dared me to find something wrong with your boat.
We're not perfect,
Yeah,
but
I know, but
I know what if we make a mistake, everyone in the shop will know about it, and we'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
But you have to be a really good boat builder to kind of find some of the stuff that we see. So
yeah, I mean, your wiring was the best that I saw at the boat show, and I can see why. You guys really take your time. You guys have somebody dedicated to doing it.
Yeah.
You guys do it outside, and I'm assuming you approve it.
Yeah.
Right as you go.
Yeah, we'll all work together with the guys and kind of lay it out. But it's honestly mostly them. They're passionate and they do a great job.
Good. That's awesome.
And they take pride in doing the hard work, and I'm just organizing everything.
Yeah.
So if we didn't have the crew we have, we wouldn't be able to get these boats out. And I think that's one thing we have over other boat builders is that we have a small crew. We're all friends.
That's great.
Go fishing together, and they all care, and we all take pride. And we're all in this together to build as many boats as we can and make them all perfect. So this is all one boat. That's a hull with a liner on it. That's the ring, and then this is the console. So what will happen is we'll get that ring on, then this will get lifted up and dropped on it. And
once that's ready.
Yeah, once that's ready. And then this seam here and this recess in the front, that's where the legs are going to sit. And those are also held on by plexus. These we have these screws that we tap into the legs to hold it while it dries, but they're really just there to kind of get it into the right location. They're not structurally important. This is our bucket. That's a live well. That's the inside of our console. And then these are our hatches. So these are 2-sided hatches. So you're gonna have a finished gel coat on both sides.
Yep.
So each of these is a part A and a part B. Basically, after they're gel coated, we'll do our lamination schedule on it. Then there's a core material, and then a bonding putty that you can see drips out to make sure it fills everything. So it'll kind of drip out the sides and make sure everything is there's no air and everything's fully bonded. So we'll pick the part B side up, put it on the mold, and that's what these receivers are. We'll clamp it down until they touch, so that we know we have a consistent depth of the part, thickness of the part throughout. And then we pop it out. It'll have a flange on it. We'll cut the flange, and it'll be a perfectly finished part.
Cool.
So we cut all of our own glass, and
the itchy stuff,
So cut and labeled all here. So this is about 4 boats worth of material here. What we like about doing this is we have a full list of every cut size for the boat. So when we go to build the boat, if we have something extra, we know someone made a mistake and we can catch it and fix it.
Well, that's good quality control too.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
you get good consistency throughout your boat builds, so they're all.
Exactly.
If you need to change something, you know where to add or take away.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, no, we're just
super organized.
Yeah. So try to be organized.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of there's like you could have a perfectly clean shop and like wax the floors every night, or you could have like a mess where you don't know where anything is. We try and stay in the middle.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, if you're working on something, you can leave your tools on the boat and come in the next morning and get started. We're not trying to be overly clean.
Yeah.
We're building boats here, not medical devices. So we want to be as efficient as we can be.
I strive to be in the middle, but I'm a mess.
Yeah.
So like I got to work on that myself.
Yeah.
So I know that space is like a huge.
Even for us, like we
real
have
estate is a big thing,
two
right?
giant buildings, but
It's never enough.
it's never enough. Cool view.
Yeah, cool view of everything
Yeah.
up there. And then up here, what is it that you do for quality control? Like how do you? Because that's a big thing with all these companies. There's a lack of quality control. So
Yeah.
you're approving everything, right? You trust your people, but you still have to.
Yeah, and with us, like quality control, and because everything's so custom, is how does what the customer wants get communicated to the shop and make sure they're putting the right stuff on the boat? Because literally, down to the wiring, down to some people want a specific drain plug, like they get that, and we'll do it for them, and we just want to go that extra mile for our customers and make them happy.
Yeah.
So, but keeping track of a bill of materials with 1,000 parts on it, and then getting those parts here and making sure they get installed in the right place. That's what we in the office spend a lot of time doing.
Cool.
So let me kind of show you how we do that. Ooh, not supposed to see that. You can cut that out.
Yeah, I'll cut that out.
All right. So basically, let me pull up actually, we'll do Victor's boat, since a lot of people probably have seen that boat.
Yeah, Land Shark, right?
Yeah. So this is Victor.
He's got a 28?
Yeah, he's got a 2850.
Oh.
So basically, we'll put our build sheets onto this program, and then everyone on the floor has this on their phones as well. So every step of the way, like install the pop-up bow light, and then when they're done with the installation, they'll take a picture. So we've got a record of that.
Wow. So if your customers want to see the progress, you can just send them pictures as you go from here.
Yeah. So whenever we're building a boat, a lot of the times we're giving them. It should be weekly, but it seems like it's daily sometimes. They'll have me hop on the boat and FaceTime them and send them along, and then we can share these build pictures with them too.
What's your production time for a boat? So say I come in, I give you a deposit. How long does the process take for 25T?
So we're kind of working on that and figuring out ways we can increase production by kind of doing certain things like different times in the build. So like that boat we were just looking at outside. Like the ring will go down, the console's going to go down. Both of those are already built. We're not doing that on the boat.
Right.
We've got the 25. Our quickest 25 was 42 days, including weekends.
42 days?
Yeah.
So you're building boats in 3 months?
Yeah.
Let's just say
Yeah. So that includes weekends. So 42 days in the shop,
Wow.
and if there were holidays, that was counted too. But usually it's probably like 50 days, and then 28s take about a week and a half longer.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really fast.
You think so?
I think so.
Some manufacturers build a boat in 6 days.
Well, I mean, those manufacturers are probably not custom manufacturers.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down a lot to organizations. If we're late, it's usually because we're waiting on a part.
Or
a motor's not here, the leg set needs to get redone.
And that's gotten better since COVID?
Oh, a lot better. Yeah, the motors we can pretty much get on demand. Our backlog at the moment is like 9 to 10 months. So if you wanted a new boat right now from scratch, you'd probably be waiting, 8 or 9 to 10 months. So it's fast, but if you want a boat for next year, make sure you call us soon.
And you guys rig any motor?
Yeah, so we do all the motor manufacturers, Mercury, Suzuki, Yamaha, even Honda we can do.
Okay.
So we kind of, any electronics you want, we'll do. You have a vision in your head, or you've owned a boat and you didn't like one thing about it, or you didn't like the steering system, you didn't like your electronics, like come to us with an idea and we'll try and make it happen for you.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, where like your experience when you're dealing with a mom and pop shop like you guys. I mean, you guys build a relationship with your customers, so they become family almost, right? Like you guys go fishing together and stuff.
Yeah.
And
on a nice Saturday, I'm probably getting 5 to 10 people sending me pictures of their fish.
That's amazing. So, that's awesome. That's
we become friends throughout the build and communicate the whole way, and it's probably as fun as actually owning the boat is the build process. We had one guy bring a 5-gallon bucket, sit in the shop with a 6-pack of beer and watch his boat being built.
That's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're dealing with a custom manufacturer. So cool,
Yeah.
man.
Cool.
Now, Ken, it'll be a shame if we did the whole walkthrough of your place and we didn't get to try your boats.
Of course. Yes. No. So this is hole number 1 of the 25T.
Number 1.
Yeah. It's kind of the prototype boat. So I built this with Paul and finished it after he had passed away. So it's got a lot of sentimental value, and we're real proud that kind of we took his vision and finished it. So it's on a lift now. We were keeping it at the shop, but I'll get to use it a little bit more.
Nice. And this one's powered by twin 200 Suzuki's?
Yeah, so this is 200 Suzuki's.
Is that the optimal power for this boat?
Yeah, 200s. I'm doing Mercury 225s on a boat now, which it's going to give you a little more top end, maybe like 2 or 3 miles an hour more. But
did you guys have a single?
I did a single 400. Yeah.
How's it ride with a single?
So it's so basically the 0 to 30 or 35, I forget what we tested, was like 6 seconds versus 8 seconds, so not noticeably different. And then the top end was 2 miles an hour slower.
Okay.
But cruise at the same burn, you're going a little bit slower with the single. So you had 8 cylinders versus 12, or 10 cylinders versus 12 with the Merc. So we brought those 2 boats to Lake X and tested it at the same time. It was a fun day.
That's gotta be cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So we're going 28, and that's about 2.2 gallons an hour, or miles a gallon, sorry.
How many? 2 point what?
That's 2.2. I can switch it if you want. Get out there.
Sweet. And you're cruising at 30 miles an hour. It's super dry.
Yeah. Dry, soft landing,
Yeah,
like we're running.
Yeah, you're like running on a cloud. It's crazy.
And as the wind's kind of on our side too.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Yeah, we got a quartering seat too. It lands so soft, it's crazy.
Here's the following.
We got following seas. Yeah. Right.
You want to run a little bit?
No, I don't care, that's fine. And the Seakeeper is going to do its thing.
Yeah, so you just do the motor trim and
Oh, this is a head seat, right?
yep.
All right.
So we were talking about how we bond everything with plexus and there's no fasteners. We're landing soft, but most boats you're going to hear rattles and stuff.
There's zero rattle, and we haven't hit.
And you're running 35 right into the wind.
Yeah, right into the wind. There's short waves, and it hasn't pounded or slammed once.
You run a little faster.
A little faster. I'm almost scared to.
No, keep it at like 35. Stay on top.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going 37.
That's crazy. We're shooting on top of the wave. This is nuts.
So that's what I was saying. You have that deep V, so you're always going to get a soft landing.
Listen, what is this? 3 to 4?
Probably, yeah. It doesn't look that big on camera ever,
Yeah.
but and this is your first time running the boat.
First time running the boat, and I was almost scared to. I'm just so used to like my boat, and we didn't slam that one time. Like not one hard pound, no nothing. This thing is like the faster you run it, it's like the better it runs too.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
Likes to be on top.
Yeah, it likes to be on top of the waves. I mean, and we stay dry.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. Badass. This boat is so sick. All right, so we just got back from the Fort Pierce Inlet, right?
Yeah.
what was that? That was at least 3 to 4, a couple, at least. It doesn't do justice on the camera, and they were close too,
Yeah.
close waves. So it was pretty sloppy out there. Not once did we pound, no rattling, no bangs, no nothing. It's impressive. It was almost scary. I was scared to go over these waves. Now, when we were running, it's hard to tell when we're running and rough stuff like that, but what type of fuel numbers are we getting on?
So we were probably running between 30 and 35.
Okay.
So I mean, in those conditions, it's not going to be like as efficient as
Right,
we're running
obviously.
in flat. So I'd say we're probably burning about like 2.
2.
Like if we're running inside and it's flat, you're like 2.4. We might have been a little low, like 1.9, but
That's
it was
pretty good.
really rough out. So.
But that's really good for
Yeah.
2 motors, a 2.4. I get 3.1 on my single 250 Suzuki. You know, you got more horsepower. You got the twin Suzuki 200s.
When I'm running, I like to run at 40. Like that's where I feel is
The sweet spot.
fast enough. It's not the most efficient, but it's within 0.1 or 0.2 of, you know, if I'm running 30 or 35. So anywhere between 30 and 40.
So at 4,000, what are we looking at? How many miles an hour?
So that'd probably be 35, I'd guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting anywhere fast at 35 miles an hour for sure. Right. And max speed, what are we looking at?
52-ish.
That's
I ended up to 54, but yeah, 52 is probably what you'll see most of the time.
And the Seakeeper definitely kept us.
Yeah,
Kept it
Seakeeper
stable the
helps
whole
keep it
time.
stable. So yeah, you get the benefits of the deep V and the solid build and the heavier boat. Kind of when you hit those waves, it's sharp, but still strong enough boat to kind of push through them. So you're not really bouncing off them, you're still cutting through. And
Yeah.
Seakeeper helps keep the boat level, so when you do hit them, you're hitting on the sharpest point of the boat. And if we do come out of the water a little bit when we land, it's landing on the keel, and it's going to just kind of softly land.
Hey, big thanks to Ken and Kelly for allowing me to come up here and film with you guys and taking us out on the boat to see how it rides. Ken and Kelly, Bluewater Boats are going to be at the Miami Boat Show next week, right?
Yeah, so it's, I think, Sea Isle Marina. We'll be at the Suzuki dock, so we'll have a 2850 there for sea trials. So if you want to come, just send us a message online or email us or call us at the shop, and definitely want to see everyone there. And like you said, you got to really run the boat to feel it and experience it.
If you guys want to check them out, see them at the boat show, or hit up Ken. I'm going to put their information in the description down below. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.